Well, hello. I hope you're well. Um, I haven't posted a video for a while, but things have been a little bit up and down. So it's still continuing. So I have managed. So I can't remember what the last video was that I posted. That's really bad, isn't it? But I have managed to finish clearing my mum's bungalow out. I did that. Probably finished that about a month ago now. I've just been sorting out her finances, getting all the paperwork and documentation for so they can sort out how much she wants to pay. Not wants to pay, but needs to pay. Um, sorry, I'm just a little bit. I don't normally do videos in public, so just a little bit aware of people moving around behind me. So so yeah, and then I received on top of that, I received a letter from DGWP about my brother. Well, my mum did, so I had to inform them that to ask for me to be the appointee because they want to transition him over to universal credit, but that's a whole other story. But anyway, they've postponed the transition for now, which is good. So I'm just waiting for them to send a letter to me, addressed to me rather than to my mum. And then there's some issues starting with him and his behaviour and stuff, and the woman in charge who doesn't like him, and that just creates all this fear and anxiety in me because of things that have happened in the past with him, because people tend to manipulate his behaviour and trigger him deliberately or lie about him. Even people have lied about him in the past because they want a certain outcome, which I'm not going to go into now, but it's really, really stressful. And at one point, I was really worried. This was in the past. It's quite a few years ago now. They were trying to make him come under health so that social services wouldn't have to pay for his care. And then he could have ended up quite easily in one of those secure hospitals. But luckily, that didn't happen. And he's been really happy in this care home that he's in now. But it's just something's not right. I know that something's not right, and I know it's like I'm very sensitive in a lot of ways, really, energetically, and then I can pick up on things people say, the different cues, body language, etc. And I just know that something's not right. But anyway, so there's him, and then my mum stopped her food supplements without telling me, and then she stopped eating completely, and then it was just a complete battle to get her put back on them, to the point she was like a skeleton, and she was just wasting away, and she was becoming weaker and weaker, and she's even stopped eating her sweets and her cakes, because she got to that point where she was so malnourished that she didn't want to eat anything, and her mood was going down. She was getting irritable and difficult, and I really had to be quite forceful to get them to restart it. And then when they did restart it, they started her on 3 a day. She'd never been on 3 a day, and obviously because she'd not been eating for so long, then she was at risk of what's called refeeding syndrome, whereas if you go from being starved to suddenly eating normally again, then it can make you really poorly. It can be actually fatal. So luckily one of the nurses, she knew that would be dangerous, so she managed to stop that. But if I hadn't been there and noticed, they would have given her 3 a day, and then she would have ended up in hospital again probably. And then after the event, after she's been having those for a few days, like 1 a day, Now she's sort of perked up and she's more her normal self, and they're like, "Oh, she looks really well." Yeah, well, she looked ill, didn't she, before, and you did nothing about it. And this is like the constant thing that you're up against. I was this close. In fact, I would have brought her home. I was wanting to bring her home, and my mum was wanting to initially, but I think she had a good day there. And then I think now she's feeling better in herself, she's had to think about it, and she decided that she wants to stay there because there's more people around, which I understand, completely understand that. So she's going to stay there for now. But even something the other day, so my mum had lost her remote for her television, and I think she'd hid it the night before because she's worried that one of the other residents will come in and take it in the night because the residents get confused. And so she said, so I got there at 4 o'clock, and she were really, really agitated, really quite confused, and saying that she couldn't use television because she'd lost the remote. So I said, "Where was it? Where did you have it last?" So, because she's always losing it, and usually it's in bed with her, and she's saying, "No, they've had all the bed out, and it's not there." So she said she'd put it in this middle of this cream book that she has, like a notebook, and put it on a table, and then it wasn't there this morning. So anyway, there was I had a little look around, and then she got these trays that she's doing this jigsaw on, and I just went straight to it. There was the book in this pile of trays, and in the middle of the book was the remote control. So I gave her it, and then it suddenly dawned on me. She said she'd put it there like last night. So I said, "So have you been all day without any television?" She said, "Yeah." She said that the carer had a look around for it this morning, and then said she'd come back and have another look, and didn't. She'd just left her in a bed, and she'd not even, like I said, there was these trays with a jigsaw on that she was doing. She'd not even offered her the jigsaw to do. So she just sat there with nothing to do, nothing to look at. I was absolutely disgusted. It's inhumane. And then I said, before I'd realised all of this, and I'd said to the carer, "Is my mum being agitated today?" So she said, "Yeah," and confused. So she went, "Yeah." She said that she'd told the team leader, and she'd told her to encourage fluids. Well, how about giving her something to do? Looking for the remote. So anyway, within half an hour of giving her remote back, she was a different person again. So I went up to the team leader and I said, in front of this carer, I found her remote control, and she's a lot better now. She's not as agitated. Said it was on the chair next to her. So this carer was like looking really embarrassed and really ashamed. And she said, "Well, I looked on there." I said, "Well, I went straight to it, so it wasn't that difficult to find, really, was it?" It just like it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking, but I mean, she's made the choice now. She wants to stay there, so well, that is entirely up to her. But I think for me, what I'm learning out of this, and the same from with my brother as well, is that I can't save them anymore. Um, and I've got to stop putting other people's welfare above mine, because my mental health and my life is suffering because I haven't got a life, um, and I'm constantly stressed and anxious. So it's kind of built into me that's what I do. I did it as a nurse as well. I was the one who would go above and beyond and be that patient's advocate. And I save quite a lot of people doing that. I save a lot of my patients from all sorts of different situations, and some of them were life and death. But I've got to start putting myself first. And yeah, I can be people's advocates, and when it's your family, it's even worse, because that feeling of being helpless and not being able to help them, being out of control, is really hard. But I can't save everybody, and I've got to start looking after myself. There's things that I want to do, and I would take my mum into my own home, but she obviously don't want to. I think she's there's a lot of people. She's got more people around her now. Where she came to mine, she'd just have me and the dog, so she'd be more isolated. She'd have like carers coming in and stuff, but yeah. So anyway, she's made that decision. I've told her that she can change her mind if she wants to, but so yeah, I think I've got to just let go a little bit, and stop putting other people's needs above my own. Because at the end of the day, other people don't do it for me. I've just like got this ability to see on a deeper level what's going on in a situation, and I can predict outcomes, and I'm observant, and I pay attention to detail, and I recognise when something's not right. So it kind of plays on me until I get to the bottom of it, or until I solve the problem. But I can't always save everybody, and I do worry about my brother because of his behaviour and where he'll end up. Because I've just got an awful feeling about what's going to happen to him, especially when my mum's no longer around. I think that'll hit him really hard. But I mean, hopefully it'll be all alright. And this is just like a glitch or whatever. But like I say, the person in charge isn't very overly fond of him, so she really hasn't got any kind of empathy towards him. And he's his own worst enemy as well. Oh. So yeah, I think I have to stop putting my own life on hold for other people, and I've just got to get on with my own life, basically. Not that I'm going to stop helping them, but because I'm not, but I've got to put my own needs, make them a bit more of a priority than I have been doing. So I'm trying harder, and trying to be more consistent with my businesses. So I'll tell you more about those. I've started a podcast on Spotify, and that's all about feminine energy, divine feminine energy, and how we can use our feminine energy to reconnect with our own feminine energy, and then use it to make the world a better place, to bring more compassion back into the world, and remind people of like what it is to be human, really. Bringing back the balance between the masculine and the feminine, because I think that's what's sorely lacking in the world. So there's that, and then I'm thinking about doing something around death and dying and helping people to come to terms with loss and to plan for it, and to not counselling, more using tools and courses and one-to-one coaching and group coaching. So that's my plan. So I'll be publishing my episode 3 of my podcast today. So today is all about the archetypes. What are archetypes? What feminine archetypes are? How they've been used in the past, and how we can use them now to reconnect with those aspects of our feminine energy. So I'll post a link in the comments when I've published it. So yeah, I'm hanging in there. I'm still having my down days. I've had some real down days this week, but you know, like I say, I've come to the realization that I can't save everybody, and so I have to start putting myself first. So yeah, that's what I'm doing, and even if I just make one commitment to publishing an episode of my podcast every week, that is the main thing that I'm going to do, and the rest of it will hopefully develop as I go along, and as I develop more skills and get my website up and running and my blog, and so yeah, it's exciting. I feel like, although I do feel like I'm like, oh my god, what am I doing? It's like, how am I going to get all this stuff done? But you know, it will get done eventually. Either that, or I'll go completely back in mad. I don't know. I don't think that's going to happen. But yeah, I just got to be kind to myself as well. Allow myself the days where I don't feel like doing a lot, and on the days that I do feel like doing stuff, making the most of it. Like yesterday, I had a really productive day yesterday. So I've now got my little my dining table back that I can work from, and I've decluttered some of the stuff out of my mum's, out of my living room. The next thing is I need to finish painting my bedroom and then move some of my mum's furniture that I brought to my house upstairs. So yeah, it will all get done eventually. I've just got to not let things overwhelm me. So on that note, I hope you have an enjoyable rest of the day, and like I say, I'll post the link to my podcast in the comments, and then I will see you all soon.